Yes, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to another week with Fathers Who Care. And listen, it's really, David, it's been one of those weeks. I'm telling you, man, so much stuff has been going on. My body is aching. I'm just tired of doing this, doing that, just all over the place. But I am just so committed to the plight, to making sure that you young folks have resources and outlets and opportunities that I just can't stop myself. So I'm going to ask y'all one of these days, okay, Elder, take a break. You know, like y'all be telling me sometimes, go and take a vacation. It's all right, take a vacation. Because everybody needs one sometime. But anyway, I want to say this here in all fairness. My heart is kind of heavy, but you're watching Fathers Who Care tonight. And as always, what we try to do is bring to you, the viewing audience, information, individuals, and situations that we have experienced in the neighborhood where we can do something to empower each and every one of us. And we want to talk about the importance of teamwork, David. Can teamwork really make the dream work? I believe teamwork can make the dream work if we all are working together for the same cause to try to save our children. I think we can do it. I really believe we can make a difference in the neighborhood. And we want to talk about that, and we want to talk about some of the other stuff going on, David, particularly. We want to talk about the shooting that just occurred over here on Madison. And we was on our way to the studio just now, and there was this huge shooting that went on Madison. What was it, David? I think Karloff Keeler?
Madison and Keeler.
Madison and Keeler, where I understand that some young people, unfortunately, fell victim to some of this senseless violence. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. So I hear some of the news is still coming in, but I know that a lot of folks are over there. Some of our individuals that we were working with today and had some activities that we was going to work with today are currently over there at the site. Unfortunately, we hear some 15-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-olds, or 9-year-olds, or something like that have become victims of this senseless violence on Madison and Keeler. Now, we're not quite sure of all the details yet because we was just riding past it, and we saw a lot of this stuff going on, this mayhem going on as we was leaving there, and we was on our way over to an event that we've been working on for tonight and tomorrow on Springfield and Van Buren, where they, we're trying to work with some young folks over there to bring a little peace and happiness and understanding to that site. But again, we want to talk specifically tonight about what can we do as community stakeholders, young and elder, to work together to promote a safe and drug-free community. I mean, most of the things that are going on now, David, has something to do with drugs, alcohol, or some substance. All right. Most folks out there right now, I personally believe most of them are traumatized, going through some challenges, and just need a little love and possibly some medication and be locked up somewhere. Literally. I'm just telling you facts. Because it's a shame before God that we have all of our young people out here who can't walk down the street. It puts me in the mind, David, that last week we did an event on Costner and Congress. Mm-hmm. David, Costner and Congress. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's what I'm considered one of the hottest blocks or one of the most deleterious impact sites in the city of Chicago. And we did a light in the night event on that night. Light in the night mean that we was the light in the night. Bringing some refreshments and old school dusties and steppers music, and the kids was jumping rope and double dutch, and that, I mean, it was just fun, all right? And it was just a blessing that we had the community support. The community came out, the elders come out. We had some women that came out that was 80, 90 years old and say they haven't had this kind of fun on the block since they've been there, and they've been there 50 years. So I just thank God for giving us the wherewithal and the peace and the vision and the understanding to do the work that He's called us to do. It's been a challenge, y'all, but we've been doing it. I want to introduce y'all to our President Emeritus, David Elam. Is that correct? Yeah, that's your name?
Yeah.
David Elam. He's the President Emeritus of the West Garfield Park Community Stakeholders. And I need to say, one of the hardest working young men in the neighborhood. David is one of those young men that he's always on the go trying to make things happen. Extremely bright young man, extremely gifted young man. He's an orator in his own right. But I think we just had a call, David. If you don't mind, can we entertain this caller?
Yes.
Caller, you on the air. You're watching Fathers Who Care. The number here is 312-738-1060. Come on, call in. Talk to us. What can we do to create social environmental changes? What can we do to get the people to put down the guns for some real summer fun? Come on, caller, you on the air.
Hi there. One of the common things that I've heard, obviously, is to get more access to education for young people to keep them away from violence, and then another one is to, to get them more jobs. There are more jobs in their communities. So one of the things that I was thinking about recently is, have you heard or do you know of anyone who might be promoting the idea of training people for trades?
Absolutely. You
Electricians,
know what?
carpentry,
That's
and things like that.
absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And I think you are absolutely right. The first thing I think I heard her say, David, is guns, jobs over guns. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Jobs over guns. And since we know, and I believe this in my heart too, that some of the young folks, they may not have the wherewithal or the mental stability or capacity at this time when they finish high schools to want to go into colleges. So there should be opportunities for trade. Remember we talking about that before?
Yep.
So, and we was talking about the fact that they had closed down places like Washburn, and then we know they got this institute, the Dawson Institute over there off of Western right now. So we've been trying to also encourage that with young folks to go to Wright College and different places, Triton College, and get a trade. I think it's important that they do that. Do you hear me, caller? Caller there, the caller's gone. What you think about what she's saying, David? Call us back, caller, please, because we want to finish talking to you about what you just said. Jobs over guns or guns over jobs, jobs over guns, and trade schools as opposed to some folks just not being cut out or have the aptitude to want to go back into the academics, but instead they want to deal with a trade. I think it's a good thing because a person can get a chance to get their license,
Yep.
become electricians, become architects, or whatever they want to do, welders, or whatever. I'm not saying that's a bad trade. I'm talking about anything a person can do where they can be their own boss, Dave, and they can probably go into a union. What do you think?
I mean, with young people, they always, like you say, we always trying to find something to do. So with the opportunities that present themselves to us and to other young people, once they get into the mindset of wanting to do something that's attention seeking, they always want something that's entertaining and it's something that's always beneficial to them. So if that's not the case, then 9 times out of 10, something else is gonna rise and occur.
Well, you know what, and I think the caller for calling in, and I really want to say in all my heart that I'm really kind of disappointed in a lot of the things that's going on in the community and a lot of things that's going on with some of our people in the community. Because a lot of the stuff that's going on has the capacity right now to run young people astray or get young people caught up in not wanting to go to church, young people not wanting to go to school, young people not want to be involved in no community involvement or community civic activity because they've seen all that's going on with our elected officials. They seeing what's going on with dirty this or dirty that,
Yeah.
and dirty cops and dirty pastors. Everybody dirty, they think. All right, everybody is not dirty. Please believe me. We do have some bad apples, David, in the basket, but everybody's not bad.
Right.
I personally believe that if we all come together and work together and create an environment that the young people can see what they can be, because young people can't what, David?
Young people can't be what they can't see.
Now, what do that mean?
They can't be what they can't see. That means if they surround themselves around negativity, then 9 times out of 10 they're going to be negative. But if you surround yourself around positivity and things that you know that are pure to your well-being and to your life, then that's what you're going to be for the rest of your life.
Well, let's try a caller, David. Do we have a caller on there waiting on us? Caller, you on there. Thank you so much for calling. We have our guest this evening, none other than David Boom Boom Elan, the president emeritus of the West Garfield Park community. I'm in a zone
Yes,
today, so bear
yes,
with me.
sir. Yes, sir. Great show as usual. Great show as usual, sir. But you know what gets me? Ministers here, they want to march everywhere, but yet they don't march on Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the bad streets on the south side, the west side. And I know why.
Mm-hmm.
60 to 70% of them live in the suburbs. They come and collect their money, and then they're going back spending their money in the suburbs instead of in their neighborhoods. Come on, you guys. You got to do better. Thank you.
Well, I agree with you on some of that. And no, I'm gonna tell you this just for the record, so you'll feel me out. I'm with these young people more than I think their own parents may be with them. And every day that I'm with these young folks, we are out in the community marching, rallying, protesting, praying, cooking, serving, doing whatever we can to be a blessing to the young folks in the neighborhood. I mean, I can look back and look at some things out here, some people out here, and I can say, where are they? Why are they not here? Yeah, I can do that. And I'll be wasting a lot of time doing that, all right? Because as opposed to me talking about what they ain't doing, I need to do what I need to do. And so I'm going to do what I need to do to be a blessing to these young folks, to help them to think about putting down their guns and really exploring, picking up a book and being the best that they can be. So we're concerned with their pride. We're concerned with the unity. We're concerned with the togetherness. We're trying to change dysfunctionality because our families and our communities are dysfunctional for real. Believe that. Right now, we got parents who don't want to parent. We got kids who don't want to be parent. We got situations in our community where the parents don't want to be the parent. They want to be the friend. We got the kids in the neighborhood where they don't want to listen to their parents. They don't want to work. They don't want to do nothing. They want to go astray. And then everybody want to take from everybody. And nobody wants to work for it. So I think we're really going through some trying times in our community, in our families, in our relationships. And we just need more God in our lives. We need more structure in our lives. We need more intervention in our lives. And we need people to come and understand that folks, when folks are hurt and folks are traumatized, they're prone to say and do anything. And you just don't know. And I really believe that a lot of the people that we're dealing with today are suffering from some mental illness, be it trauma, be it crisis, or what have you. What?
PTSD.
Right, that's it. PTSD and other symptoms of what might be going through and they might be victims of. Because anytime someone is exposed to trauma, and they become traumatized. Mm-hmm. So, David, let's get back into the show. And the call lines are open, 312-738-1060. So the question is, what can we do as a community to empower our young people? When our young people are constantly out there picking up guns and shooting people and picking up guns and just don't care who they shoot and why they shoot. And then they just living a life right now where they don't personally care about nothing. What can we do as parents in the community, as community stakeholders in the community, to promote a safe and a drug-free community, to come together to save our babies in our community? Tell me, David, what can we do? You're a young leader, right?
Yep.
Are you proud of us as elders in the community?
Yeah.
Are you? Okay. What can we do? David, you got a caller. Can you entertain another call? Mm-hmm. Okay. Caller, you on the air with with our President Emeritus, David. I ain't gonna say boom boom no more, right? Elam. All right. What's your comment or question? I'm just messing with you. You know that, right? Yeah. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, I was calling. I wanted to know, why do you think most young people out on the west side and the south side of Chicago is picking up guns and shooting people? Like, what do you think is the point? What do you think, not motivates them, but what makes you think I don't know how to say it. Like, what makes you think, what makes you think, like, what makes them to do that?
Do you hear her?
Mm-hmm.
I think she was referencing what would make young people continue to pick up guns and go out there and commit violence.
What causes young people to commit violence?
Go ahead, tell her then. You're a young leader. What you think it is?
To me, why I feel young people today feel like they need to be violent or be out here picking up guns and causing all this type of harm and negativity in the community is they don't have a sense of direction.
A sense of direction or a sense of value.
Right.
Go ahead, David.
They seem as though, I don't want to say they lost, but they don't know where they're going. I guess we can say that they're lost because they're on this road, and on this road there are 4 different directions, but they're not going into a certain type of direction because they don't know which direction to go into.
So you're saying they're probably confused?
Trying to find a way out, but they feel like this is the only way out, when in actuality, that's not the way out. I mean, that's a road, that's a dark road. Okay. And for you to be young, and young people need to understand that you're full of integrity, you're full of energy, you got so much to live for, but what you need to know and think about is you cutting yourself short by being involved in things like that.
Well, listen,
you're limiting your opportunities.
Listen, and please give us a call here at 312-738-1060. We're talking about what can we do to kind of empower our young folks, our trade schools better than regular academic schools, you know, like the regular traditional colleges. I think personally, you know, I like them both, but I think for some of the African American young men particularly, I think a trade school is a better fit. Just my opinion. Because I think if they can just focus and discipline themselves on one concentration, and I think they can apply themselves more, because most of them are extremely smart. It's just that most of them right now just don't have the aptitude and or the patience to want to be involved with all those different classes again, all right? Like doing all the books and all of that book stuff. I think right now what they want to do now is focus themselves specifically in a trade. And I don't think a trade is a bad thing. I think they would make some good electricians. They probably make some good carpenters. They probably make some good welders. They probably make some good engineers. I'm just thinking architects or what have you. I'm saying I'll promote that. I would even tell my son that. I would tell my son personally that if you felt a trade that you wanted to be involved in a trade, push that trade, all right? Put those couple years, 2-3 years behind that trade and make it happen. So I want to say, Minister Purnell, thank you so much for joining in. Sister Gloria Harris, Tanika, and Faye Hall, all of you beautiful people for joining us on Facebook. Let's get back into the subject, David. The subject is, what can we do to engage our young people in some constructive environmental things, like to create environmental change? What can we do? I mean, you know, our young folks are caught up in alcohol, substances, and violence, right? What can we do, David, to motivate more young people your age to put down them guns and come and do something more positive?
Well, first of all, we both, from the young person's perspective and the elder's perspective, must first understand why there's a disconnect first. Because there is a disconnect between the younger generation and the mature generation. We call that bridging the intergenerational gap, which is there's a disconnect between the elders and the young people. First of all, need to understand what it is that we both need to understand, why this is, why that is, and come together as a collaborative unit, as a collaborative effort, because we both have different ideas that we can bring to the table as a collective unit, instead of being at each other's throats or battling this opinion, battling this opinion. Let's bring all that together as one and figure out how we can fix the ills.
Let me hit you right straight. But let me do this here first before I want to talk to you about what you just said about bridging the intergenerational gap. I do feel that I'm open to the young people, but I do have my moments when y'all kind of get to me, all right?
Yeah.
But I weather that storm because I'm always with y'all every day, and so you know I love my wife, but sometimes I don't want to be around her every day, all right? Every minute of the day, you know what I mean? Sometimes I just want my quiet time. Right? Do that mean do you all feel that that's a disrespect to you when you don't want to? You just want your own time?
No. Everybody needs their own time, because there's a sense of overwhelming that happens. When you get overwhelmed, you got too much on you. You just need a break away and time to yourself to reevaluate.
Listen, you're watching Fathers Who Care, and of course, we got the West Garfield Park Youth Council, a president emeritus with us tonight. And if you're looking for additional support, give Fathers Who Care a call at 773-287-5821, 773-287-5821, or log on to fatherswhocare.org, or you can look us up on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and all that other good stuff. But tomorrow night, we'll be on the corner of Springfield and Van Buren, an extremely hot spot where we've been told that folks don't want to get together and do anything, and I doubt it, because we was just over there tonight, and the people are coming out. We got horses and all kind of stuff over there going on tonight, petting zoos and jumpy houses and cooking. So I don't believe that. I mean, come on out with us tomorrow. We're going to be giving away school supplies, and we're going to have a nice time in that. It's going to be unity. The theme is unity in the community, peace jam. So it's going to be a gospel/dusty set. And of course, the young people ain't going to let me have no fun unless I play some of their stuff that they be liking. So I'm going to play some of that. The kids are going to play hopscotch, jumping jacks, or whatever the stuff that they would be liking to do. We doing all this to create social environmental change on the west side of Chicago, and to let whoever need to know that west side folks are not estranged from being good people, or estranged from wanting to live right, or estranged from wanting to have peace in the neighborhood. We want peace too. We just fed up with all of this plight of drugs and this plight of guns and all this other stuff coming to our neighborhood, killing our babies and destroying our community, and it seems like don't nobody care, unless a person is dead. Why we got to keep on having family reunions at funerals when we should be able to have family reunions on the block and love each other? I'm just at a point, David, where I'm kind of full. Caller, you on there, your comment or question, please.
Yes, good evening, and congratulations once again, Miss Griffin over here.
Miss
And
Griffin, I love you.
I enjoy you all the time and advocate for you all, because right today I received my gas bill from People's Gas, and they're talking about employment for young people. And I'm so happy that they're doing that. I keep telling people we have choices. If you don't want to be an athlete, you can go into other productive things. Television, fixing TVs and things. I met two young men that repairing televisions.
Mm-hmm.
So keep up that good work, because you're very instrumental to this city and this country. And I hope the people really appreciate you all. And thank you so much for being there for us.
Well, Miss Griffin, I really appreciate you so much too, and I really need to talk to you off the air. So when you get an opportunity, can you give me a call? You got my cell number, I hope.
Yes, sir. I still have it. I certainly will. And congratulations, and keep up that great work.
Thank you so
Bye
much,
now.
Ms. Griffin, and thank you for following us and being so supportive and making sure that we're able to do some of the things that we're doing in the neighborhood. And it's because of you, Land Foundation, that we're here doing what we do. So thank you so much, and continue to watch us. We'll be back next week. But in the meantime, David, let's get back to the subject that we was talking about. And if folks need additional support, I want to encourage you. We have an opportunity right here, David, that I've been wanting to share. If some folks are interested in vocational trade, academic and vocational trade, give Fathers Who Care a call at 773-287-5821. Yes, I said it. If you're between the ages of 16 to 21 and you want some academic, if you want to receive certifications, be it in vocational academics, give us a call and we will get you connected, or we will help you to get involved in this organization we're dealing with YCCS West. It's a charter school that they're working on in the community, where we're bringing young people together who may have some different skill sets between 16 and 21 years old, and they want to go into vocational or they get interested in vocation academics, and they want to get their high school diploma or their GED or what have you, or they want to go into a trade school. We got that for you right now. It's at YCCCS, and we asking you to give us a call at 773-287-5821. Listen, it's a blessing in store for you if you get involved, because this is another opportunity for young people who may not be going through the traditional school setting and may need something different. Call us. We got something for you. Also, we want to encourage those who are not busy to get in touch with Fathers Who Care, with our youth council, with our fatherhood initiative, and also with our community outreach initiative. We're currently going to be on the street tomorrow. We've been on the street every Friday, different hot spots in the city of Chicago. Last week we was on Costner and Congress. Tomorrow night we're going to be on Springfield and Van Buren. School supplies. We're going to have an event entitled Unity in the Community Peace Jam, Old School Dusty and Stepper Set. So, David, give us some closing comments as we leave this place. Why should we get involved? How can we get more parents involved?
One reason you should get involved is because it's beneficial to not only you but the people who live in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And why more parents should get involved is because it's just the right thing to do. I mean, why live in a community if you don't know what's going on in the community?
Absolutely.
So if you live there, you should know what's going on there.
So listen, the time on the wall is about saying is it all. But next week we're going to be doing a West Garfield Park Unity in the Community Gospel Fest. Actually, it's called Pilgrim West Gospel Fest for Peace. And we're going to be doing it at 4301 West Washington at New Mount Pilgrim Church. That's next week, next Friday. We're going to do a Gospel Fest for Peace at 4301 West Washington if you're interested in gospel and good singing and good music and fun. Basketball, we're going to have basketball games going on inside the hall. But tomorrow night we're going to be on Springfield and Van Buren. I want to tell you as we leave you this evening, thank you so very much for all that you do. I think it takes all of us to make a difference in the community. And unfortunately, sometimes all of us can't be everywhere. But I tell you what, each one should teach one, and we should be a blessing to each one. And I said we can do this thing if we work it together. But if we don't work together, shame on us. Because it's a shame that here we are out here representing our community in whatever capacity that we're doing it. And we're afraid of our own community, where we're afraid to go down the streets and talk to the young people on the block, David, and let the young people know, listen, man, I know that you might be out there doing something that ain't particularly right, but here goes some other opportunities. Once you go to school and take all of that stuff that you're doing on the street into the school and maximize your options, why don't you be the best that you can be? Give Fathers Who Care a call at 773-287-5821. I want to thank all of you all for calling, all of you that's still on the line. David, you know I love you, man. You're just like my son, and I wish you the very best, and I know that you're out there searching to find different opportunities for yourself. I want to thank all of you for watching. I want to thank Kiana. I want to thank Kayla. I want to thank Walter. I want to thank all the guests that came with us tonight. I missed the rest of my team tonight. They all in school getting ready for this or that. Back to you. I love you too. And with that being said, we want to just tell you all thank you again. I give love, shout out to my wife. Baby, hang in there. All is well. Everything will be all right. Just keep doing the good work you're doing. Make a decision, though, darling, because life is too short. I love all of you. Good night. God bless you. Keep the faith, and we'll see you on the other side. Good night.